Hey guys, thank you for watching my video today and welcome to DIY Art Plus. So today I'm gonna make a very simple painting which anyone can paint. You can also paint. So for that I'm gonna use these three brushes. To be honest, I don't even know what number it is, but I am just using whatever I have on my hand, and I'm just gonna be using these colors today: red, black, it's like a turquoisey blue color, orange, yellow, and white. And also you also need a cup of water. And today I'm gonna be using these sponges. So this is the mostly I use, as you can see. And I also use this one a lot, and sometimes I also use this one. So whichever you have in your hand, if you want to use the brushes, the sponges, you can also use those. Okay, so let's start painting. Like I said, it's a very simple painting. If you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel to see more of this kind of video, like a step-by-step painting and other DIYs that I do. So first I'm gonna wet my bristles. So let's see if you can see this. Okay, so I'm just gonna wet my bristles in my water, and let me just give you an idea what I'm planning on doing today. I'm just gonna add a nice colorful sky on top, water, and then some trees and maybe mountain. So basically I'm just drawing a very simple you'll see. Okay, let's start. So again, I'm using this big flat brush. If you maybe want to know the number, here I have this pack right here. It's from Artist Brushes. This one right here, I don't know. So I got this one from Amazon. It was just for about like a $2, to be honest. It was very cheap. So if you are a starter, you don't have to buy any expensive stuff, trust me. You don't really need any expensive stuff. You can just buy any cheap one and start with that, see how you like it, if you are enjoying painting it, and then buy good stuff. Alright, so I was using this brush, and I don't know, I can't find that brush anymore, but it was something like this. This is number 8, and the one that I was using, it was number 12. So yeah, just in case if you want to know the number. Okay, so let's start painting. So again, I'm just gonna wet my bristles here, and I'm just gonna very randomly apply my sky color, which is, I'm gonna start with the yellow first, and I'm gonna take a big chunk of yellow like that, and I'm gonna find the center of my flower, which is right here. So here I'm just gonna apply nice yellow. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit more here, and I'm gonna cover about so I'm using 8x10 size of canvas. If you are using bigger one, it's up to you how, like what color you want on your sky more, maybe yellow, orange, red. Okay, so here I'm just gonna cover just about like 2 inches, an inch or half with the yellow. It's not perfect, as you can see. I'm gonna move on to my next color, which is orange. This is a very quick painting. Like I said, anyone can paint this. Alright, so here I'm just gonna take a big chunk of orange, and then I'm just gonna apply. You can also touch your yellow if you want to, or you can avoid, whatever you want to do, because remember, we're going to use these brushes to blend all these colors. So I have to work faster so that my yellow and my other paint that I'm going to apply now, it's not going to dry. Before it's dry. And then I'm going to apply red on top. So I don't want to use a whole lots of red here, so I'm just going to cover about like maybe an inch and a half, not a lot. Okay, I'm gonna take again a little bit more yellow, because I want to also apply some yellow here, and also some orange maybe over here. Alright, so ready for the fun part? I'm just gonna leave this brush in my cup, and like I said, if you can use whichever brush, the sponges you have available in your home. You can also use the flat one. In case if you don't have this, you can also use this washer, the sponge, whatever it's called. But I'm just gonna use this, let's say maybe I want to use this one today. Okay, so I'm just gonna wet the little bit in my cup if I can. Go. Okay, it's a very small cup. That's why you need a big cup. Okay, I think that's good enough. I don't wanna wet this whole thing here. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so now I'm gonna apply. Let's see, my yellow is almost drying, guys. Okay, let me apply some more yellow. Big chunk of yellow. I'm gonna use the whole of this. Okay, that's good. Okay, so now I'm gonna start I'm just gonna spread. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm just gonna start blending all these colors, and I'm gonna start from bottom right here. So all I'm gonna do is just dab like this. Okay, so let's do that. You can just pick whichever side you want to work with, and then just dab like that. Just going left to right. Just don't look how it looks like right now. Just keep going like that. Just keep going on left to right, and slowly move up. So I come all the way to the top. Now I'm gonna repeat the same thing one more time, but I'm gonna start from top this time, and slowly I'm gonna work on this bottom area on my orange, and then yellow, this is a very good exercise, guys. Okay, I might want to add some maybe more orange right here. Okay. As you can see, you can just go crazy with this. It doesn't have to be too perfect. Okay, so let's just start blending again. Okay, let me add more yellow. If you don't like this brush technique, you can always use brushes. The brush too if you want to. But I thought let's do something new, right? Whenever I want like a very nice blended look, I always use sponges, because that gives me a very nice blend with the texture, and that's the best part. That's why I always use a sponge. I don't know, I'm just keep saying sponge to brush, whatever. Okay, just keep dabbing. Dab. Alright, so I think I'm all done. That's all I'm gonna do. Okay, I think I wanna stop. So when you're gonna see that you are pulling some of the paint out, that means your paint are almost about to dry. So whenever you touch with this wet sponge on that dry area, that paint gonna come on your sponge, if that makes sense. Okay, so now I'm gonna let everything dry, and then I'm gonna work on my water. So I'm gonna add water here. I'm just gonna go and wash this sponge. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back with my dry sponge. So here I'm all done with this brush. I'm just gonna be I just use this sponge on my sky. I'm not gonna be using on my water area. So let's start with our water. So you can pick any color you want to for the water. You can always use just a plain blue. I'm just gonna be using this turquoisey color. So let's do that. So I'm just gonna clean my big brush here. And if you have a paper towel, you can always wipe it on that. Okay, so here I'm just gonna cover the whole bottom with this color. So for that, I'm just gonna use just a little bit. So I'm not going on this area right now, on my yellow area. I'm just gonna start working from here. So I'm just going left to right, very easy stroke. And I'm just gonna cover the whole bottom. So it's okay if you still can see some of the stroke like me. We're gonna make all nice and smooth after we are done, like just covering everything. Okay, so I am all done covering everything. All I'm doing is applying very long strokes like this, and this is gonna smooth out all of your brush strokes. All right, now I can go on this area. So remember, there is nothing perfect in nature, right? So we don't need any perfect line, but the trick, if you want to get a straight line, I mean not a straight line but sharp line, so that you don't have that wiggly line or like a line that kind of a break. I don't know what it's called, guys, but let me show you. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is start from here and apply a line very quickly like that. You don't have to go slow. Whenever you're making any line, just go quickly, and it's all gonna come together. Okay. Alright, now I'm gonna add some white because I just don't want this color only. So here I'm just gonna add a little bit of white, just taking a little bit of white. I'm not cleaning my brush, and I'm just adding this kind of a line very randomly. Also on this area a little bit. Alright, now I'm gonna blend everything. So for that, I'm gonna use a flat brush, just going left to right, making a long stroke. So if you are also painting on your canvas and it's frame canvas, make sure you also do the sides. Maybe something like this. I'm not gonna do it, I don't really want to, but you can also do the sides, so that whenever you hang it on your wall or maybe put it on your table or wherever you want to, you don't see that ugly empty edges. So yeah, make sure you also clean your brush whenever you are done. And I'm gonna have to let everything dry. So let everything dry, and then we're gonna add maybe I'm gonna add one more color on my water. So let's do that. I'm gonna add a dark blue. Alright, so I take a little bit of dark blue. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, that's so different. And just like I did with my white, I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna mostly apply this blue on the edges, not in the middle a lot. Just maybe a couple times in the middle, but more on the edges. Okay, and then I'm just gonna blend everything again. I'm just going left to right, adding long strokes, and that's all I'm gonna do. So sometimes less is better, remember that. But the best part about using acrylic paint is, let's say you don't like your sky, no worries, just add whatever color you like on top, and then do whatever you want to do after the first layer dry. So that's the best part using acrylic paint. That's why I use mostly acrylic paint, and I don't really use a lot of oil paint. I have it, but I don't know why. It just takes forever to dry, so that's why I don't like it. Alright, so I'm just gonna come back after everything's dry. Alright, so here it is dry completely. Now I am gonna add some mountain, so let's do that. So here I'm just gonna use this same big brush, and for those mountains I'm just gonna be using black paint. Okay, so I'm gonna add 2 of those here and one big one right here. So let me just use a small one. Sorry, I'm gonna use this small brush, And I'm just gonna take a tiny little paint just on the tip. If you can see, I don't know, but yeah, just a tiny little paint. Okay, so I'm gonna add just nice and wiggly curvy line like that. Simple, right? Okay, and I'm also gonna, so as you can see, I almost touch my water and also come a little bit inside of this line right here, and I'm gonna repeat the same thing over here. So that's good. That's my first mounting, and then I'm just gonna cover everything inside. And I'm gonna repeat the same thing on the other side, but I'm trying not to make both of my mountain look same. We don't need to do that, right? So here I'm gonna make this mountain a little bit more bigger and longer, and same thing on the bottom, and just fill everything inside. All right, that was easy, right? Okay, now I'm gonna repeat, now I'm gonna add a big mountain right here, and that's where I'm gonna add my trees. Okay, so I'm gonna start maybe right here, making a hill and going down. Okay, so now I'm just gonna fill everything on the bottom. So whenever you feel like it's very hard to spread your paint and you are getting this kind of a fuzzy line, just dip your bristles in your water and then take some more paint, and you'll see a big difference. It will be so much easy to apply your paint. Alright, and let's just finish this. Okay, I'm just gonna make it a little bit more bigger. I think that's good. Alright, so now I'm gonna add my trees. So for that, actually we're gonna be using different brush, but I'm gonna show you in a second. And for the tree trunk, I'm gonna use my smallest brush. So whichever you have, this one says 0 number. So whichever you have the smallest brush, you can use that. And since I'm using a very small canvas, it's 8x10 size, so I'm just gonna add about like 4 trees. In case if you are painting on a bigger canvas, start with the very last tree. You can always add more if you want to. Alright, so here I'm just gonna wet my bristles, and then to get that nice line for your trunk, what I like to do is just take a little glob of paint, put it on the side of your plate, and then I'm gonna take maybe 2 to 3 drops of water and mixing it together. This is gonna give you a nice line for your tree trunks. So here I'm just gonna take a little, my paint are already thin, so if yours are very thick, like this white, try to take a little bit more water, but my paint are already thin, so I'm not taking too much of water here. Alright, and after you take that paint on your brush, just twist your bristles like this. This way your brush will become nice and like it's nice and pointy now. So let's start with our trunk. Alright, so here I'm just gonna take some more paint, and I'm gonna add 2 trees over here and 2 right here. I'm not gonna add anything in the center, in the middle right here. So let's start with the one that we have on the edge right here. So I'm gonna start with my first tree. I'm gonna leave about like a finger size if you're using a small canvas, and this is where I'm gonna start. I'm just using tip of my brush for the whole time. When I add just a tip of this trunk area. As I'm coming down, I'm pressing my brush really hard like that, using all of my bristles to do the bottom, because I want to get a nice thicker trunk on the bottom, right? Okay, so let's do that. So this is just the first tree. You can go over this line maybe a couple more times if you want to make it more thicker. So I'm gonna go just maybe one more time here. Like I said, when you are adding any line, you don't have to go too slow. Just bring it all the way down. And you know how the tree trunk are, it's very thick on the bottom, so I am going to make it nice and thicker. Alright, so that is my first tree. I'm gonna add my second one now, and this is gonna be actually the same size, so but still you don't have to like start from here. It's okay, you can maybe start from top or bottom, wherever you want to. I'm just gonna start from a little bit, maybe from here. I'm sorry guys, I can't really talk and add a black line. It's very hard to add any straight line, but like I said, we don't need any straight line here, right? I'm not trying to add any straight line here. Leave some space for the branches. So that's why I am just adding 4 trees here. Okay, so I am done with the one side. Now I'm gonna add 2 more on the other side. Okay, so this one I'm gonna add a very small one, not too long. And my last one is gonna be right here. As you can see, it's not a straight tree. You can definitely use a different color if you want to for your trunk. You don't have to use a black paint. You can always use maybe brown if you want to, or whichever color you want to. Alright, that looks good. Now I'm gonna add branches. So for the branches, I like to say less is better. So let's start adding our branches. Again, if you are out of that thinner black paint, make sure you take a little bit more water and some more paint, mix it all together, and then you can use that. It will be so much easy to add your branches. Okay, so here I'm gonna add my branch for my first tree. So there are so many ways to do your branches. Let me show you the easiest way. I'm just gonna start from bottom right here, pressing it harder as I'm going up, making it nice and curvy, and then up. That's gonna make nice branch. But remember, we don't need any thin line here. Let me go back and make it nice and thicker, because we're gonna cover most of our tree, the branches, the tip area especially, with the leaves. So that's why we don't need any thinner branch, right? So here I'm just gonna go back and making it nice and thicker. Okay, and then I'm just gonna keep adding more and more branch. And don't worry about this black, you have black on black, that's perfectly fine. I'm also gonna make this a little bit more taller. Okay, and you can also add your branches on your branches, so maybe something like this. Alright, so let's repeat the same thing for all of our tree. So I'm not gonna add too many branches on this bottom area just because I'm not adding. Okay, so there is my first branch. You can also cross your other branches, other tree branches if you want to, like I am doing here. I'm barely touching my canvas with just a tip. So whenever you are getting this kind of a fuzzy line, you can see the difference. This is a fuzzy line, this is a sharp line. That means you don't have enough water in your paint. So take a little bit of water, mix it together, and then add your branch and you will have a sharp line. All right, I think that's good enough. That's all I'm gonna add. Actually, maybe I'm gonna add one more small one, maybe right there, and maybe one more here. Okay, for me it's very hard to stop to add these branches, so here I'm just gonna stop right here. I'm just gonna straighten this thing right here. Okay, don't overlook, just keep it. If you're not sure if you maybe want to add more more trunk or not, I'm sorry, maybe if you want to add more branches or not, the best thing is just go away from your painting, come back maybe an hour or two, maybe the next day. You get more idea if you want to add maybe more tree, more branches, or anything else before you add your leaves there. Okay, so now I'm gonna start adding the leaves. So for that, I'm gonna use my sponge. So you can again use whichever brush, the sponge you want. I'm just gonna use this one right here because it's already wet. Okay, and I'm just gonna pick a corner. So this is the corner. Let's say maybe I'm gonna use maybe this corner right here. So this corner is not wet, so I'm not gonna use that. I'm just gonna use this corner right here. And of course, black paint. You can again use whichever color you want for your leaves. You can use green if you want to, but I'm just gonna keep using black. Okay, so here I'm just gonna dip this area of my sponge on my on my paint. Okay, I'm just keep dabbing it like that. Okay, so let's start with our first tree. So like I said, with the branches, less is better, so less is better for this too. Okay, otherwise your whole painting gonna be dark. Okay, so here I'm just gonna add just maybe 3 or 4 dabs, maybe 2 or 3 dabs on each branch. So let's say this is my branch. I'm just gonna add maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 and 4. That's all I'm gonna do. So again, For this branch, I'm just gonna add 1, 2. That's good enough. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1. 1 is enough. 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. I don't know why even I'm counting. Okay, so yeah, something like that, if that makes sense with you guys. As you can see, I just take a paint, just tiny little paint, one time on my brush, my sponge. I'm not even taking any more paint here. We don't have to. I don't have to, Alright, so here I'm all done with my painting. Nope, I actually am missing one more thing. So let me go back and add maybe a little bit more leaves. Okay, that's good. Okay, for me, like I said, it's very hard to stop. So just take a little break and come back whenever you feel like you are adding too much. Okay, so I'm gonna go and clean my brush first. Otherwise, it's gonna get like dry, like this one right here. I always forget to clean my brush, so this is what it's gonna become. So that's why I'm gonna go clean my brush, my sponge. Alright, so it's nice and clean. Now I'm gonna highlight some of my area with the white paint, and for that I'm just gonna use a small brush. So I try to make my video very small, but it's always very long, especially for the canvas painting. I don't know, it takes time to paint, right? And as I'm kind of explaining, that's why it's taking a little bit longer. Okay, so here I take a small brush and white paint, and all I'm gonna do is just highlight just some of the area like that. Okay, and I'm also gonna highlight this mountain right here. Make sure there are trunk and branches, so I'm trying not to cover those. Same thing here, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. So maybe just a little bit more right there. Since it's already snowing a lot, I don't want to add snow, but just a little highlight so that it makes sense. Okay, so here I'm all done with my painting. I hope you guys enjoyed painting with me. If you did, if you have any question, just leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you. And thank you guys so much for liking and supporting my YouTube channel. And so whatever I make on my YouTube video here, I also put those things on my Etsy shop. So in case if you like, hey, I don't want to make it but I really like it and you want to get it, so you can always visit my Etsy shop and you can find it there. So I also make stickers too, so you can also check out my Etsy shop. But again, thank you so much for watching my video, and make sure you give it a thumbs up if you enjoy watching this, and subscribe to my channel if you are new to my channel. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment down below, and then that's all. Yeah. Thank you so much guys, and I'll see you next time for my another DIY or the painting or maybe the sticker that I make. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.